Greetings, dear friend. Welcome to the story that does have an end, but we're not sure what it is. We just have a plan to get through it. I'm here with my man IB. That would be illegally blind. How you doing, brother?
Good, good. How are you, bro?
Well, times are moving pretty fast. Coming up on summer solstice.
Oh yeah.
Mm,
And the sun's getting hotter too.
it is. Thank goodness we had our backpack, some shelter, a way to light a fire, some nice fish from a river, if I recall. And I guess we have a little bit of time on our hands. Shall we look what we have in our backpack to read, as we might be the only people around for a bit?
So as far as passing time, I got the Kybalion. This to me is like how everybody views or how we were told, like the book Common Sense. Like this is like the most general, best information about ontology, the study of life.
Hmm.
It's not religious at all. That's why I like it, but it talks about God in a non-religious way.
All right. I think most can dig that at this point. Would you put it like obviously the Ten Commandments are kind of that, but would you put that as kind of an obviously a book version of those rules, something like that?
Um, yeah. Oh yeah. It talks about the like fundamental principles of life. Doesn't really like tell you how to live your life like the Ten Commandments do, but it's it's so unbiased. I love how logical it is. Like it's just as general as possible with truth.
Hmm. That's nice. And if you want to send out some good vibes, if somebody introduced you to a book that's really helped you out, feel free to do that. But what do we got next on our kind of what would you call this genre of books?
Passing time.
Hmm, fair enough.
So the Holy Bible, basically. A lot of people look at it like something religious, but obviously I don't, and I believe it's a literal guide that has been rewritten so many times, and there's a bunch of stuff in it that I believe is like distractions or psyop, but also there's so much stuff in it. For example, like it tells you what you can eat as far as meat, raw, what's clean and what's unclean. And
Hmm.
people think that means cooked, but it's actually talking about the meats you can eat raw, clean or not clean.
Yeah, that is helpful.
So.
Is there this kind of a random question? Do you have a favorite character in the Bible? Not book, but character.
I never really thought about that, but not I wouldn't like call them my favorite or anything, but I guess Moses, like, oh, parting the water is always like really. I mean, it probably was just the most popular story. I feel like that's the most over uh talked about story is why, but that's the one I remember the most.
Well, not to bog us down. Although, what's the hurry? No, I think that story is captivating because you get to look underwater. Isn't that, that's kind of all right. Let's keep moving.
Yeah. This one, um, I don't know how to say that name, but Worlds in Collision
Hmm.
talks about the reoccurring catastrophes that basically is the EMPCOE. And I just keep hearing stuff about this book, and I actually heard about this book long before I was even a
Hmm.
flat earther. Someone told me to read this, and I never got around to it because, I'm kind of just like, whatever resonates immediately at that time I only look into. But after I woke up, I was like, wait a second, I remember someone said this, so I bought it. Never read it yet, of course. Kind of waiting for the new world for that.
I feel you. Apparently, we have glowing screens that tend to distract us now. I won't hold that against you. Next.
The Golden Dawn. Anybody in the occult knows about this.
Hmm.
It's the most freaking popular book on the occult, and I've skimmed around in it and read a few like chapters and stuff, but this thing's thick, man. And a lot of it is really hard to understand. But there's like just reading, I can just tell like it's authentic just by reading
Hmm.
like a few chapters in it. It's not psyop, I guess is what I would call it.
And when those New World Spaniards roll up with their shiny hats, you'll know more than the Padres do. All right, what's next?
So, I guess this falls in the same category as wasting time, but I plan on bringing a few decks of cards, and I only know like so many games, so depending on how many people we have, like we can use a bunch of stuff in here. It's always good to have more, like stuff not in your brain already to keep you from being bored. And both of these will just do it at the same time because they're literally the same fucking thing. So far, all of these books, by the way, these are kind of like going in my non-metal packing crate. And then we'll get to the ones that I'm actually going to bring in my pack.
All right, VIPs, let's do it.
So this is too heavy to go in the pack, but if it was smaller, this would definitely be a priority. It's called the Knot Bible. Or that's what everybody calls it as like its nickname, but it's got every freaking single knot like known to man in this book, and that's not even the best part of it. The reason why this book shines compared to others is knots, they're not just used to tie things together. So this guy actually explains the uses for each knot, like what you can actually use these knots for. And I've never seen that in like any other like tiny handbook, of like talking about the uses of knots. Kind of just left to figure out what each one is useful for.
Well, knots are definitely a lost art, but they'll probably come back in fashion. Next book.
So I got a little planner. This one would be coming in my pack. It's small. Time is important, and it's going to help me keep track of time, basically. Try to at least long enough to where I can like figure out how the New World Sun is working and make like a calendar in the sand or something.
Yeah, that's quite a task.
Yeah. And then this one is awesome. I think it was a Kickstarter project. I also got a Kickstarter pen with it, but the pen lasts forever. It never runs out. And this you can write in the rain, and it's completely waterproof, and the pages are nice and thick. So like, it's a good book. I was thinking like I'm only gonna have one, so get the best quality one possible.
Well, let me ask you this: depending on how much time you have, etc., are you planning to pick up any plastic or waterproof maps of the region you're in, or do you think that they'll have much use? No.
Honestly, no. I have atlases of almost every state on my RV, but that's just so if in case they do like state blockages, I can still get to where I need to go by the back roads. That's the only reason I bought all of those. And they're definitely too big to like bring, so I don't know. I might like hide them in the sand and try to scavenge them, let alone I truly think the land will be so that much different. So no.
That's very Walter White of you. Back roads. All right,
Yeah.
keep going.
This is a pretty awesome book. It's only for North America, but every breed of mushroom in North America. And it's really cool because a lot of books have like not really easy to see pictures. This one is like really nice pictures with the name, and then you can find whatever one you're just looking at, and it tells you if it's poisonous, if it's edible, if it can be used for medicine. So I think this is a super important book.
Being a survivalist. Oh, go ahead, brother.
Potentially one that will go in my pack, basically.
Being a survivalist, how much uses do fungi have? Is that like an integral book?
Yeah, medicines and eating, I guess, are the only two things it's useful for. I can't really think of like making, yeah, that too. That's the only reason I got it. It's to find the trippies.
Good man.
Well, I got another edible book here. This one's not based around mushrooms, but it's basically the same thing, but for wild plants in North America only. It's the best book because it's got nice, easy to see pictures and then information again on each thing. But yeah, I did a lot of research on all of these books, honestly, and You know, like these were like the best of the best for like
What's
every
your
category.
favorite sneaky helpful plant? Just off the top of your head.
Oh boy. It depends on where we're at. But the pine tree is the best
Bingo.
plant like ever, I swear to God, because it has fat wood in it, like you know, like resin. You can tap the resin, and then the pine, what are they called? The pine cones actually have seeds that you can eat once you boil the tannins out of them. So even gross stuff you can eat. And there's
Insanity.
tons. Oh yeah, there's tons of other uses for it too. I can't even think of all of them. You can make like a
Get to
pine.
know your pine trees, folks. All
Oh
right,
yeah,
brother.
I've seen someone make a pine needle basket. Anyways, this is So these two, you basically, these are the most popular books of like you know, like just kind of generalities, and both of them honestly had like half good reviews, half bad reviews, and the complaints were always along the lines of like, man, it talks about unrealistic stuff, or like it just, you know, it has like it doesn't explain things in depth enough or something like that. And I would agree with what I've seen out of them so far, but because no other books were like all perfect reviews, I just got both of them, the top two on Amazon. But this is the one that's going in my pack 100%. This
Mm-hmm.
is this guy also has a YouTube channel, by the way, same name, Primitive Technology, and this stuff is amazing. Every single thing in this book is gonna be rocks, leaves, and sticks only, basically, and how to do everything like a caveman. This book is the best.
No, I believe you introduced me to his channel, and we'll put a link in that in the details, as well as a list of all these books. We're getting down to the end of the stack. Anybody left?
Yep. So these, I don't really know how to grow that well, so it kind of goes from like beginning, intermediate to expert maybe. But you know, this is the best book for like complete beginners. Just a nice small book, and this one will probably go in my actual backpack.
Mm-hmm.
And then these two, this was just a little bit more in depth. Obviously, it's a bigger book too. And then this one is not only just how to plant, but it has tons of general, like, you know, back to basic things. Like, one of the biggest reasons why I got this, of course, I won't flip straight to it, is it teaches you how to tan skin and make clothes out of skin.
Mm,
So that's pretty cool to me. And I feel going to be pretty vital.
I like it. That's all the books that we're taking to the new world, huh?
I got a few books on the RV, but I think they're just kind of gaming books. I'm pretty sure, but yeah.
Well, there is one other book that you've seen recently that I have to ask you about, and we're pushing. Let's cap it at 15 since the folks might be up against it. But you have seen a little book called the Black Book,
Oh yeah.
um, a comic book which a few have found. You did see the pages. What did you see? What changed you when you saw the Black Book?
That's a sick cover, by the way. But
Cheers,
um,
brother.
I honestly, I uh, I basically know like everything that's like in it, I guess, in terms of like the symbolism and plasma apocalypse type thing. But um, I think, you know, like the color purple is something that never stood out to me,
Mhm.
and um, like now I'm kind of like noticing it more now, I guess. I don't know.
I got you. I appreciate that. I just wanted to throw that hashtag down for you, Black Bookers. Cheers, guys. Um, we are getting to this is going to be a five-part series, but good team ups never end, so I'm sure you'll catch me in IB. But our next and final chat, since we've got some books, is Transcendence. What does that mean, dear viewer? Basically, how do you leave your mark on this world, and how do they make you known in the next one? I don't believe that's been chatted before. So, yeah, that wraps us up. We're approaching 15 minutes. IB, thank you for dropping knowledge as usual.
And thank you for spreading this knowledge.
Cheers, brother. I'll catch you on the other side. Yeah.
All right, bro.
Good man.